I got arrested in West Texas, in Abilene, Texas, for Class 2 felony drug possession.
Hey guys, my name is Jacob Blizzard. Recently saw the podcast by the Troublemakers and featuring an old client of mine, Randy Valerio. Interesting there, he talks about getting a Class 2 felony in Texas. Well, felonies in Texas are not classified quite that way, but he got it mostly right, in that there are generally classifications of first, second, third degree felonies and state jail felonies. So that would be a range of punishment of 2 to 20 years in prison, and for this particular drug possession.
I got pulled over for speeding. It's like, I smell pot in the car. I'm like, no, you don't. He goes, what? I said, no, you don't. It's a brand new car. I haven't smoked weed in it yet.
In Texas, you can get probable cause to search a vehicle after a traffic stop if you have some sort of articulable suspicion that a crime is being committed, suspicion to detain a person. Then probable cause to search their vehicle can come from something like the smell of marijuana. So it can be really difficult to challenge what an officer says about that. And so here, Randy's saying, "Oh, I had a brand new car, so obviously it didn't smell like marijuana." But that a police officer is going to search his vehicle regardless.
I had a bag. It was in my trunk.
Yeah.
Hand him the bag, and it was 6 chocolate bars. He's like, "Oh, all right, this is like a misdemeanor. I'll write you a ticket." And he goes to his car and comes back. Say, "Hey, can you turn around?" I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "I have to arrest you." I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "It's too much weed." I'm like, "What are you talking about? It's 6 chocolate bars." He's like, "Well, if you read on the labels, it's like 1,000 milligrams in each bar." So it became a Class 2 felony.
Holy.
Yeah, so crazy thing, right? You think marijuana, it's practically legal in many states across the United States. Well, it's not legal in Texas, 1. But 2, really what Randy was actually dealing with here is the THC concentrate that comes from marijuana, because it wasn't marijuana packaged in marijuana form. It was the oil taken from marijuana and put into, an edible, a chocolate bar of some sort. Even so, the state would use the added material, the chocolate or whatever's there with it, also as a part of the substance, because they can't necessarily differentiate between what's chocolate, what's THC. And then over 4 grams to 200 grams is going to be that second degree felony range. So that's what Randy's looking at. He's got 6 chocolate bars weighed out at 6 grams. You're over the 4 grams, you're in that second degree felony range.
I mean, the best lawyer in Dallas, I call him up. He goes, "You don't want to hire me." I'm like, "Why not?" He's like, if my big money ass goes out to Abilene and shows up in court, they're going to stick it to you just to stick it to me.
But, I'll tell you, there are a lot of lawyers that do come out to the Abilene area from other places like Dallas, Fort Worth, and they practice successfully out here. Maybe that's more that Dallas lawyer didn't want to come, in a sense, because he knows that, right? He knows the idea that local counsels who you really want, somebody's familiar with it, who's going to do a good job out there in the Abilene area.
Get the local guy who hunts pheasant with the hillbilly judge.
Exactly.
So he references the hillbilly judge, right? So for me, I don't hunt pheasant, right? And I don't hunt pheasant with any hillbilly judges. I don't hunt with any judges. But I think it speaks to the idea, right, that it's good to know your audience.
So he found me a guy named Jacob Blizzard.
This is funny because this is something that's happened to me my whole life, right? My parents named me Jacob Blizzard, I guess not thinking about it. My mom says, because, she always thought of it as Jacob Austin Blizzard as my middle name included. But, Jacob Blizzard, people forget there's a B in there, right? Because the B's run together. B and B next to each other just sound like Jacob and then Lizard. And so, here I am, Jacob Blizzard, out here practicing law in West Texas.
I asked, "You sure this is the guy?" He's like, "He got a guy off a double murder last week." I'm like, "That sounds like the guy."
I think what Randy's referencing here is actually, I represented a gentleman named Damian Kate, right, shortly before I represented Randy. And basically, I think the confusion is, it wasn't a double murder in the sense that 2 people were murdered. It was maybe thought of as a double murder in the sense that there were 2 people who were accused of committing the murder of 1 person. In our trial, we got what I thought was the right result. We got a not guilty verdict. I thought it was the right result. I thought that justice was done there. And so, people think of, quote, getting somebody off of double murder or capital murder or whatever. I think of it as doing good advocacy so that the truth can be brought forward.
Thank God I got it tossed.
Dude.
Yeah, and so, right, Randy's story has a happy ending, right? Happy ending. At that time when things were going on, we were able to get a good result for Randy based on a lot of things, but I'm happy that he's been able to move on. But criminal cases can certainly be taxing and hard, but it's always great when you can come out the other side having either learned something and moved on forward from it, or if you're wrongfully accused, obviously to be able to walk away from that, have the right thing happen.